our personal well-being, how it affects us. I want our youth to come in. I'm about to let this young man give y'all something. Now, the youth is even speaking on it. This is why we too grown to be walking around here with this falsified idea, all this stuff we be into. Because even the youth is speaking on some things.
They kind of was exemplified and sent from up above. Don't know about everybody else, but I know about me. Just want to live my life and see that God is proud of me. Look, honestly, I just want to be a good person. Tell me why there's people that love to see people hurting. Tell me why there's people that love to see people bleed. Why can't we just learn from the horrific things we've seen? Be glad that it ain't you, although it easily could be. If I say something wrong, then here was my apology. Just want to spread a message that everybody should hear. It shouldn't be a goal to leave anybody in tears. We should build each other up instead of tear each other down. Instead of getting shady when some people come around. I looked inside my life and I really like what I found. My life is really good because the people that I surround myself with laugh, joke, play around, love each other just as it should be. Regardless of my race, all of my friends accepted me for me. This is how the world should be. Why can't it just be like this? Guess we'll just observe the improvements until our stories end. Yeah.
Let me say like something. Our babies are speaking on love. Our babies are speaking the truth. That means we need to be moving more on truth instead of all this falsified idea of what we allow the world to give us. Happy New Day to everybody. It's a new day, not a new year. Impossible to be a new year, you guys. This is what I'm saying. When you've allowed, this is why I'm going to the first chapter. It's not a meeting, but we'll say all meetings are to be open and closed properly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I'll give honors to all of our readings in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Honors to all leaders, honors to all members, honors to all people that are here today. But today is very important because we got a lot of people. It is the title of this live or this podcast right now is Truth and Our Personal Well-Being. Like the truth in our personal well-being, that we just stray away from the truth so bad. But we need to start. The truth is here. And it's stern. You may not like it, but it is what it is at this point. So getting out of this idea that you keep getting sold of all these things. So we're going to talk about some things today. You got to get out of the idea of what they have sold you, being that you think that this is a whole new year. Please, someone explain to me. I need you to give me facts. This is how you know they've taken your thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing of it all. They've snatched it all away from you. How can this be a new year when everything is still at peace? Everything's still resting. Nothing is living right now. The food, even down to the gardens. The gardens aren't in full bloom. How could you call it something a new year? Really, y'all? Are we still being tricked by these people? Daily, every day, and you're still following behind these certain ideas and customs that don't even belong to you. They're someone else's ideas, and you fall into line with what someone else has sold you, and it's not the truth. That's why truth in our personal well-being, what that looks like. I want to give honors to all the documentations of our of this organization, from our constitution and bylaws to our one-on-ones, giving honors to all of that. Because I know I'm coming out of this Circle 7, Holy Quran of the Moorish the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Circle 7, divinely prepared by our noble prophet Drew Ali. And so how we get these ideas and customs that we shouldn't be following behind. This is not being radical. This is just the truth. And we're going to get into why the truth is so important. I'm going to tell you, truth is very important because truth never changes or passes away. No matter how much you want to run from it, it never changes. So I'm going to give you some points on what I'm speaking on today. So truth and personal well-being. Here are a few ways to nurture both truth and personal well-being. Self-reflection is one. Spend time reflecting on your values, goals, and beliefs. Being honest with yourself about what matters most is crucial. Mindfulness, practice mindfulness and meditation to stay present and aware. It helps in recognizing and accepting truth about ourselves and our surroundings. So meditation, prayer, whatever you want to call it. Healthy relationships. Surround yourself with people who encourage and support your true self. Authentic connections are key to well-being. Physical health. Maintain a balanced diet, exercise regularly, get enough sleep. Physical well-being is deeply connected to mental and emotional health. Our personal growth. Embrace continuous learning and self-improvement. Being truthful about our strengths and weaknesses allows for growth and development. Gratitude. Islam, all praises due to Allah and our noble prophet for always bringing us a chapter on anything we need. Gratitude. Cultivate gratitude by acknowledging the positive aspects of your life, a positive mindset, and overall well-being. All right. So when we're gonna look at why truth. That's why truth is so important to our well-being. So I'm gonna come out of first before we get started because we're gonna have some talking points here. We're gonna talk about the impact of living in alignment with our values, how truth can empower us to make informed decisions, and the benefits of living authentically. And also, we're gonna talk about this polyandry and polygamy thing because I posted something about it and I really want to touch on it because I was getting some stuff in my comments and I'm like, oh really? I kind of felt like it was gonna make the brothers a little uncomfortable. But oh well, let it be uncomfortable. That's why I say truth never changes or passes away. And you have to stop letting society and these people sell you these untruths that they want to sell. Oh, it's a shortage of men. It's more women than it is. Stop it. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. No, it's not. Stop allowing these people to put these things in your head to make you think so bad of us, so less of us. And you fall into it by following behind something you know nothing about. And that's why we're getting into this today. So, we're going to talk about out of the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. I'm going to read this whole chapter to y'all. It's important because when you don't know, you must know. And truth never changes or passes away. So this is not radical. It's not untruth. It's not being mean. It's not none of it. It's not misinformation. It's very much true information because you can go and find it and know that it is what it is. You can even see it right now as they're opening doors to different things around the world. Islam. The Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 46, the beginning of Christianity. It's where it all begins in our minds when we get tricked. The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. We're in America. The Roman nations founded the first church of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth, brown brother, for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. So whatever their yoke and law was then, he was trying to remove his people from that Roman yoke and law then, and he's still trying to remove the people now today from under whatever oppression. Whether it's your own people oppressing you, someone else oppressing you, still to remove you from under the iron hand oppression of whoever's ruling at this time, under their yoke and law. Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressures of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Okay, so even though it says pale-skinned nations, that's because that's not the only nations that were over there. Everywhere we went, we took ourselves. So we was over there too. Islam, always been. We're a part of every nation. Every nation's a part of us. Islam. Rome crucified him according to their law. Rome's law. We're in America, y'all. We have a Rome, Georgia. We have all these different, but we're over here, right here. in Northwest America or Northwest Africa. The holy teachings of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressures of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also, that the lion and the lamb may lay down together, and neither would be harmed when morning came. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they love the principles of the Ten Commandments. Through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich live, while the poor suffer and die. The lamb is the poor people. The lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. So whoever your forefathers are, whoever your forefathers are, whoever you may put yourself with, whoever they are you following after the principles of the holy and divine laws of your forefathers or someone else's forefathers? That needs to be the question, because this is why truth is so important for our personal well-being. So in knowing the truth, you can start operating in the truth. You can stop walking such in falsehood and walk in truth and walk proud in truth about who you are and whose you are. This is why it's important to know thyself. All the nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace, even to this day now. This was written in the 1920s. This was divinely prepared in the 1920s. 1913, the 13s, whenever it was divinely prepared, though, back then. And we still speaking that everyone's seeking peace, even today, right now. You can gaze upon any social media platform. You can gaze upon anything and see that all nations are seeking peace at this time. But there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through our 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands, not in some nations, not based off of your neighborhood or your community, but all nations in all lands. That's what we've been called to do. Truth in our personal well-being. Being truthful with yourself with what you've been called to do or what contract you signed up for. So you have to stop allowing them to feed you falsified information that you know is not the truth. You feel it within you is not the truth. Islam. So the impact of living in alignment with our values, what is that? What is the impact of living in alignment with our values? The impact it puts on us when we're not living in alignment with our values, it impacts us, our health, our mental, it impacts everything. Even things around you. You can have plants around you, and honestly, if you're not living in your truth, they will wither away, because some plants thrive off of your energy, like the little bamboo plants you buy at IKEA. If you don't have good energy, them things the leaves will start bending based off your energy. This is why it's important. That truth and for our personal well-being is very important. Because if we're not living in it, in alignment with it, honestly, we're causing a lot of dis-ease in our body, a dis-ease in our mind, because everything starts in the thoughts. Everything starts with your thoughts. And the thought is what drives everything else, because the sin is not just in because you went and did it. You already thought it, so it already happened. Just like you're already thinking, letting them think for you that this is a new year. Really, y'all? Come on. It's cold outside. The bears are hiding. Nature even knows to be quiet at this time and to rest. This is not nothing new. Nothing has spring forth new. What? Come on, we got to get out of allowing these people to lead our minds to the depths of the wrong place. Because that's all we have done. Islam. How truth can empower us to make informed decisions. How can truth empower us to make informed decisions? It's a lot of different ways. Um, and I'm so grateful for the prophet bringing this divinely prepared Holy Quran, Circle 7. And it was divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali by the guiding of his father God Allah. So this is spirit that's guiding him to prepare this, to prepare it. Like John prepared you to meet the king. Marcus Garvey prepared us to meet Drew Ali. Drew Ali prepared this by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. That's how much it can empower for us to make informed decisions, just based off of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali divinely prepared for us. But we're so caught up and we're so used to misery that we'll run from the truth because we love misery too much. Misery is just one thing that we run to first. The first thing we're going to think is the most miserable thing. We don't think it's enough men. We don't think it's enough this. We don't think it's enough that, because you're allowing them to think for you, not you to think for yourself. Islam. So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 44. That 4 is the only number that can mirror itself. And for this to be the chapter on misery, 4 is the only number that mirrors itself. And for this chapter to be chapter 44, misery, I'm going to read from 5 and 6. Islam. He who begetteth the man hideth his face, but he who killeth 1,000 is honored. Know thou notwithstanding that this is error. Custom cannot alter the nature of truth. Neither can the opinion of man destroy justice. The glory and the shame are misplaced. How truth can empower us to make informed decisions. How can it? Because custom cannot alter the nature of truth. So even their customs and cultures and these holidays that you keep wanting to celebrate, that they keep giving to you, they have nothing to do with you. Daylight savings don't, none of those. You should be honoring your forefathers. You should be going and following behind their customs and cultures. And your forefathers are your ancestors, those that came before you, those that you give honors to, when Big Mama and Papa and all of them, that's what you follow. What were their customs? What was their culture? Way back then, what was it? Are you following that? Are you doing what they placed for you to do? What they placed in your hand in the way to think, in the way to understand, in the way to reason, in the way to will yourself, the will, because you have the choice. Allah gives all of us a choice. The squirrel even has a choice whether he's going to run out in front of that car or not, or turn around. And he knows it. He chances it. What is wrong with this squirrel? We have choices. We allow someone else to create the choice for us and make the choice for us, because we're not used to truth. And truth is you having to be accountable, held accountable for your stuff, stand on your truth. But most people are too afraid of it. It's too stern. Why? It's much easier if I just continue to be in my lower energy as a Black, Negro, and colored person. It's just easier to operate that way because I don't have to do anything to get to know myself. Because knowing thyself is the only way that you can know Allah. You can't know God if you don't know you. I don't care how much praying you're doing, how much reading you're doing. If you haven't got to know you personally, you cannot have no relationship or no Allah or God or Yahweh, whatever title you want to put on. There's no possible way. Because if you know what you know, and you know God and you know Allah, then be what you know. And the way we walk around is not Allah's way. That ain't no, it ain't. Truth and our personal well-being. Truth and our personal well-being. Straight up. If you know thyself, you will act. Act in the way. Be what you know. And a lot of times when we be what we know, our minds are only stuck on black, Negro, and color and being just that. That changed in 1865. The chains was taken off of you, but still kept on your brain, and you still walk around with the same mindset, same energy. And you can't get mad at nobody due to the complexion of their skin, because that don't dictate nothing. The spirit of the person dictates it all. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody's color of their skin. It really don't. Allah's the one that's leading this. Allah is leading on, and victory is sure. You don't know in what form or what complexion he can send any messenger in, because it's always to trick you. It's always to trick you. Islam, grand rising, beautiful. It's always to trick you. It's never for your well-being. It's for their well-being. So they do these things ritually on these days that y'all celebrate. So go out and get twisted and toe up. The ancestors is wondering, what is y'all doing? We didn't do this. We honored other things. But we ain't honoring nothing that man just gonna keep placing with us and laying in our, are y'all serious? This place was once great. This was once a great place. So what do you mean, when was it ever great? When we was great. And we've always been great. Wines and spirit, yeah. And that's all you allow it to do, is allow the spirit of the oppressor to get into you on these so-called holidays that you still don't know nothing about, because you're following behind gods that you know nothing about. That you know nothing about. That you know nothing about. You don't. It says, what does it say? Through sin and disobedience. This is out of chapter Islam, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 47. Instruction 16. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. They don't honor the creeds and principles of their forefathers. They honor somebody else's creeds and principles right now, even today. Happy New Year. Don't send me that. Happy New Day. It's a new day. It still woke up, had to do the same thing. You still woke up and had to do the same thing. So what changed? What did you do different? This is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word of Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father. We're talking spiritual. We're talking all-encompassing. We're talking about beginning and end, mother and father. We're talking about the yin and the yang. Allah, the father of the universe, the father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, the mother of the virtues, the mother of the virtue who breathes justice, mercy, love, and right. This is mother and father that we ain't following behind, because this was not no principles they left us. And we strayed after the gods of Europe, whom we knew nothing about, and still straying after them. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. All of that nonsense that don't belong to us. Our ancestors did not rock like that, y'all. For real. And y'all still stay stuck in this same mentality of Negro, black, and colored in every aspect, and then use this movement that the prophet brought for us to save ourselves. Not only save our nation, but save ourselves. Not make this a street gang bang situation. No, sirree. Y'all took principles and morals from our forefathers and turned them into something that ain't right, when this was to save us from ourselves. Save us from the oppressors, which is us. Save us from us. But you always want to look for somebody to come save you. Who's coming to save you? Happy day, Lena. Oh my goodness, that's one of my best friends from elementary school. Man, I'm telling y'all, I love my family. I love my friends from home. I love that we can still love on each other, even at me at 51 years old, and still gaze across and see people I grew up with and still have the same love. Like that young man said, why we can't love? Why are we always beating each other down and we can't even love each other? We can't even take the time to do that. I challenge each one of y'all for 7 days not to think a negative thought, not to do a negative thing for 7 days. And if you do, and even if the thought comes up, because I told you the sin is in the wish and the desire, so it already starts in your mind before you act on anything toward anyone, anything. Try 7 days of not doing it. And even if your mind slips, start over. Start disciplining yourself. You want something new, become new. Don't look for a day to become new or a year to become new for you to become new. You become new every day. After you close your eyes and open them again, it's a new day and a new beginning. You can't stray after gods of Europe you know nothing about, especially if your ancestors, that was not what they did. I go far enough back. Nope. A lot of mine, they paid, the clock was the sun. For my native people, the way they did things was totally different. So this new age, I'm adopting whatever they hand to me is crazy. And for us to be walking around as who we are, look at this picture in the background. It was great then. If Prophet Noble Drew Ali back in the 1920s had 15 temples across this bad boy and many members, had more members back then in the 20s than all the temples could put together today. What is really going on? You're lying to me. America was great at one time. Prophet Noble Drew Ali had 7 businesses in the 20s. Excuse me? That's all I see back here is greatness. It's greatness. So because you're unaware, because you run from truth, that you don't realize we was great. You don't realize how great we always were. Because they've always sold the slave story and you fell for it. Goody tells you in the 3rd grade, this is what you taught. You was bought, you was sold. Now they saying Juice left some heads cracked. I bet you Jed Clampy won his money back. See, East Point, Atlanta grew this roadblock. Talking about all this blow trapping got to stop. Let me tell you something about Imam Jamil H. Rap Brown that helped save the West End of Atlanta, Georgia from the drugs and prostitution that was going on. And that man is still locked up to this day. We talking about forefathers that stood for us, forefathers that fought for us to keep neighborhoods clean so that our babies could grow up to see a better day, that they weren't growing up with drug-infested parents. Somehow we have to change the trajectory. But we put those away. We put those away. We put those away that fight for our communities. And we let them put them away. So then they can get to our children and put in their minds the hate that they allow them to have for one another. We allow them to do that by sending them to their schools, into their institutions. Instead of knowing that one time when we was great, we was teaching our own. Before anything started integrating with anything, our children were excelling above and beyond. How do you think they come out with these movies? How was our sisters the one that did the first whatever space? Whatever, yes, that. You got sisters, NASA. I mean, everything was invented by us. The only thing that they did was the patent office. They patented all the ideas that we ever got. When they took us, they took lawyers and doctors. They took people that really knew some stuff. How are we doing all that back then? Breaking barriers all back then. And you still fall under believing that you was a slave? Really, y'all? You're still falling for that trick. And won't even take on the name that was given to you. You have titles that were given to you that ties you back to your land, that ties you back to who you are. Authentically, your family of nations. It takes you back where there's no doubt or contradiction of who you are and whose you are. They bring other doctrine in to confuse the mind. Not saying it's not no good, but it confuses the mind. And Prophet Noble Ali brought the truth in this. Brought the truth in this. There is nothing, there's 89, 90 pages in here. Not to say they're the easiest pages to read. Because this turns into a bigger version of this. This right here turns into a way bigger version than this. I promise you. This right here does. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science turns into a way bigger, any kind of encyclopedia as you unfold it. Because it has to unfold to you, as does the flower unfold, to show its bud. The flower has to unfold to show its essence. So you can breathe the essence of what it is. When it's closed, sometimes you can smell it a little bit, but once it blooms and opens, oh my God, the senses that burst out. So that's what this is. This is why he divinely prepared it. So that we would think when we went into this thing. Not just think because we could read some words and speak some words and sound intelligent, but that we really could get in here and know thyself. To know Allah. Because that's the only way we going to know Allah. Care what you around here doing, how many whatever altars, how many rituals you, if you don't know thyself, you can't know Allah. So I don't know what you're doing. So whatever you want, whatever God you trying to call on, if you still don't know thyself and you need other things to dictate to who you are, you don't know yourself. So you truly can't know Allah. You cannot. And if you're not, and then because if you did know, you would be walking in what you know. You would be exactly what you know. And that would be love. That ain't walking around in hate. That ain't walking around in hate like y'all do. It ain't walking around in hate like y'all do. I'm play that video, that baby's video again before we continue. I'm playing this baby's video again. Because you know what? This is why I fight. I have adult children. I'm still fighting for them. Because I have 4 sons and 2 grandsons. That's 6 Asiatic men that I don't care. I will sacrifice my whole life for. Literally. Have always and will always. So I can see them have a better tomorrow. For sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. Because this is what I need. This is what I raised.
It kind of was exemplified and sent from up above. Don't know about everybody else, but I know about me. Just want to live my life and see that God is proud of me. Look, honestly, I just want to be a good person. Tell me why there's people that love to see people hurting. Tell me why there's people that love to see people bleed. Why can't we just learn from the horrific things we see? Be glad today that you walk the way easily can be.
Y'all rock to everything else.
My apology. Just want to spread a message that everybody should hear. It shouldn't be a goal to leave anybody in tears. We should build each other up instead of tear each other down. Instead of getting shady when some people come around. I looked inside my life and I really like what I found. My life is really good because the people that I surround myself with laugh, joke, play around, love each other just as they should be. Regardless of my race, all of my friends accepted me for me. This is how the world should be. Why can't it just be like this?
I promise you, sis.
The improvements until our stories end. Yeah.
That's love. That's love right there. That's love coming from the youth. They even looking for the change. What's up, brothers? They looking for the change, brothers. While you're trying to have all these women, they looking for the change. They're looking for the truth. They're searching for what that love really looks like. They want to see one man love on their mother. Respectfully. Respectfully. That's why I said maybe those tables need to turn. Maybe it needs to flip the other way. The other way. Where the sisters get them a couple of husbands. Y'all don't want to talk about that though. Islam. So we're going to continue on about why truth is so good for our personal well-being. Gotta continue on. Gotta stop following them gods of Europe you know nothing of. Stop following behind them. They ain't doing nothing for you. Happy New Day. Happy New Day, Brother Willie Somerville. Happy New Day to you, Islam. So now I'm going to go into chapter 43. In chapter 43, that's why I say knowing thyself is so important. Because if you don't know thyself, you don't know Allah, you don't know God, you don't know Yahweh, whatever name you want to give them, Thoth, Zeus, whatever name you want to place on them. You can't know that energy until you know thyself first. Islam. So the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 43, excuse me, starting at 2. I'm going to jump around 2. The statesman proclaimeth that he hath it. The ruler of the people claimeth the praise of it, but findeth the subject that he possesses it. So as much as the statesman proclaims he has it, hey, I got the answer to it all. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all this stuff they want to give you. Claims he got it. You don't even realize you're the subject that possesses it all. You possess it all. You possess it all. That's what I'm saying. That's why they've held back from who you are for real. For real, for real. For real, for real. They've held back. And you're mad because somebody's telling you, hey, if it's a mass deportation, you might be in the clique. Because you don't know who you are. Know thyself. The insufficiency of knowledge is so important. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 43, the holy instructions from the prophet, the insufficiency of knowledge. So as I said, the statesman proclaim he has it. The ruler of the people claimeth the praise of it. But findeth that the subject, that he possesses it. That's a question mark on that one too. Do we realize that? Question. Islam. Now to 12. Oh, blindness to all truth. Oh, insufficiency of the wisdom of the wise. Know when thy judge shall bid thee account for this. Thou shalt wish 10,000 guilty to have gone free, rather than one innocent to stand forth against thee. Come on, Jesus. Come through Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Come through Malcolm X. Come through Martin. Come through anyone that has. Oh, blindness to all truth. Our people are so blind to all truth, even when the truth is presented in front of them. And even when the insufficient of the wisdom of the wise. Oh, insufficient of the wisdom of the wise. When thy judge shall bid thee account for this, thou shalt wish 10,000 guilty to have gone free, and one innocent to stand forth against thee. 18. Say not unto thyself, behold truth, breedeth hatred, and I will avoid it. Dissimulation raises friends, and I will follow it. Are not the enemies made by truth better than friends obtained by flattery? Yes, I'd rather make enemies by speaking truth. All praises due to Allah. Oh, well, be my enemy because you don't like the truth. That's not my fault. I can't help that Allah called me to say what I needed to say. Stand on my truth, say the truth, so I can get to know myself, to fix myself, stand under my own vine and fig tree, because I got to work on myself all the time. But not being afraid to be as transparent as possible that I ain't perfect, but I'm working on myself. And as I get to know myself, I get to know Allah better. And in doing that, it helps me to become better. And in doing that, it helps me walk better, so I can walk in my truth. We're moving in a time. Happy New Day. We're going to take y'all into this 2025, but y'all got to understand what this is all about. Islam, all about. So yeah, I'd rather make enemies by truth better than have friends by flattery. Because of your things, and you got a nice car, and you got this big old house, and you got all this stuff, and your name is this, and your name is that. I'm cool. I don't need you. Because that's all you're around for. And you can't, and then when I tell you the truth, you disappear. You pop out. You just don't want to, you try to avoid everything when it's the truth. That's what a true friend is. That's why I still have my true friend, regardless of what. They gonna tell me the truth. Amen. And even if they weren't able to tell me the truth back then, I promise you now they could. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what a true friend is. You don't run away from truth. When your friends are telling you the truth, you should hold on to that. Ain't nobody trying to lead you no wrong way, especially people that already been there and done that. I promise you. have been there and done that to do it for you so you don't have to do it. So you can avoid from putting yourself in these situations. Islam. So I tell my children, I've already done it for you. You don't have to do it. I've already suffered. I already went through it. I've already taken the lashes. Go for it and live your life and be the best version of you, because you don't have to go through it. I paid the price for you to do your thing. Each one of us has. Islam. Each one of us has. 19. Naturally doth man desire the truth, yet when it is before him, he will not apprehend it. And if it force itself upon him, he is not offended of it at all. When truth has, if it even forces itself upon someone, he ain't even offended at it. You can't be. You can't be offended. Whether forced on you or not, you can't be offended. Because when it's forced on you, you have no choice but to look at what it is, that the truth of what it is. You have no choice but to look at it for what it is. The fault is not in truth, for it is amiable, but the weakness of man beareth not its splendor. The weakness of man beareth not its splendor. Wouldst thou see thy insufficiencies more plainly? View it thy devotions. To what end was religion instituted, but to teach thee thy infirmities, to remind thee of thy weakness, to show thee that from heaven alone art thou to hope for good. From heaven alone are you to hope from good, from your higher self, from that higher essence of who you are. This is why realignment is important. Religion is important because it's a realignment with you, within yourself, to reach the Father God Allah and the Mother of the Virtue, to reach this all-encompassing, beautiful energy that becomes one. Because you get 52, you get what, 23 chromosomes from your father, 23 from your mother. It's 64. That's still, 46, excuse me. 23, ain't all right, 46. That's a 10. It still goes back to the oneness. Still takes you back to the oneness. Still takes you back to the all-encompassing. Still takes you back to Mother and Father Allah, which is not an energy that's separate. So that's where you hope from good, from off the highest planes of life, back to your Father God Allah. You can't reach it in the lower energy. You can't reach it in this lower realm. You got to raise your thoughts to infinite wisdom. Not finite wisdom, because finite, you can see things finite in a finite way, but infinitely, you cannot see that with these eyes. Infinite stuff cannot be seen with these little fleshly eyes. Got to be opposite. You might need to use your ears to see and your eyes to hear, so it can come more plainly to you. Islam. So now I'm going to go into chapter 35 because we still on. Well, how truth can empower us to make informed decisions. And then we're going to get into the benefits of living authentically. So we're still on how truth can empower us to make informed decisions. Chapter 38, one of my favorite chapters. It is my favorite chapter. Find myself in this chapter a lot. Because I really love this chapter. This is a really amazing chapter. It's the soul of man. Always going back to check that soul. I'm trying to tell you. Because the soul, I'm telling you, is something. The soul, it does some things. You know what I'm saying? It does some things. That thou has a soul. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 38. Holy instructions from the prophet, the soul of man. I call it solo man. Soul of man. The solo man, the you. The solo man, the soul of man. What's inside of you? What is your soul really doing? And do you have control of it, or does someone else? That thou has a soul is of all knowledge, the most important of all truths, the most plain unto thee. Be meek, be grateful for it. Seek not to know it perfectly. It is inscrutable. Truly it is. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing Call not these the soul. They are his actions, but they are not his essence. They're his actions, but they're not his essence. That soul's essence is far too fine for these fleshly eyes to see. That's why I say that's an infinite way. You have to raise your thoughts to infinite wisdom in order to see from an infinite space. So that means you have to stay in the watchtower. So you can see 360 degrees around you and don't walk around here like no goofball with your head down. So if you want to get in touch with that, you gotta raise your thoughts higher than what you're giving yourself. You keep your thoughts in a lower energy. You keep your thoughts at a lower vibration, and no one does that to you but you. Because you take on these things that have nothing to do with you, your forefathers, your ancestors, your grandmama, big mama, papa, or nobody else. You decided to take these things on. You didn't go back to validate truth. You didn't go back and find the truth. You allow somebody to bring you the truth. So you have no control of your soul. You don't even realize you got one for real, for real. Because if you did, the thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing would align with the essence. Would align with the essence of the soul. Islam. 8. As the moon retaineth her nature, though darkness spread itself before her face as a curtain, so the soul remaineth perfect, even in the bosom of a fool. So the other night, as the moon retaineth her nature, though darkness spread itself before her face as a curtain. Let me tell y'all something. The other night was that Monday when we had the black moon. I watched the black moon create a curtain over the sky because where my room sits, I could see the stars so brightly. It's so pretty in the country. That's why I love the country. Never would be a city girl again. I love the country because the sky is just so beautiful and it's just so clear at night when it's clear and you can see these stars. And when that black moon came and blanketed the sky the way it did, literally, it was like the stars were just like literally, it was like a smoke gray, and you could barely see the clouds peeking out from the stars. Keep your spirits up. Keep on teaching Islam, Brother Willie. You could see it peeking, and it was just like, whoa. And when it went dark, dark. If you wasn't paying attention, because most people don't pay attention like that, but I like looking ground and sky, up and down. I understand as above, so below. I understand what's going on above is going also below and within. So everything that's going on is still going on within you too, because you're made up of this same substance that we're right here in. So in understanding that, looking always, that's why I say keep that head on the swivel of above and below and within. You have to understand what all this encompasses to bring it together into this oneness. So that right there, to see that for myself, is the moon retaineth her nature. She still retained her nature. She was still the moon. She's still the moon. Though darkness spread itself before her face as a curtain, because the moon shines bright. But I'm telling y'all, this darkness just came, and it was like, ooh, if I could have had a camera to catch this essence of this beautiful scenery that was up there. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. So now to 17. The lips of the wise are as the doors of a cabinet. No sooner are they open, but treasures are poured out before thee. The wise are teachers that have been here before. Teachers that have sat at the feet of these prophets, or even have had teachers that were gifted to sit at the feet of these prophets. And then have these teachers to teach them, and you don't take them as being wise. But they were there. You wasn't. Maybe you were, you don't realize it, but do you remember that? Do you remember, Barato, when you was an ape or a worm? I'm just trying to see. Do you remember when you were there? And tell me about the situation when you were there, because these elders that were there and that were taught by these sages and the wisdoms of the wise, we even just learned the other day, Draco was a meditation master. So even Jesus went to learn from there, this meditation master. He had came from long ago. How you came, you got to know where you come from. So you got to speak with the wise. Because as soon as their mouth is open, I know especially my teachers, and I tell y'all about my John degrees all the time. My 3 Johns are the reason why I am who I am today. John Battle, John Keenan Bay, and John Settles Akhenaten. The 3 Johns have always been the reason. Never realizing why they were the reason, but also knowing the reason now. Also really understanding what this was all about. And becoming myself and getting to know myself. If I'd have never traveled those paths, if I would have never had the wisdoms of the wise, I would never have become this person. To know myself and still getting to know myself. Not saying I know me perfectly, because I don't. I'm still learning some stuff about myself still. As I get older and as I mature and as times change and these cycle ages go on, I'm still learning some things. I'm still coming to grip with some things. But I'm also not making them same dumb decisions as my bonus mom would tell me. And she was an Italian Greek woman. She would tell me all the time when I turned 30, I had my last child, and she said, now when you turn 40, she said, when you turn 40, you're going to think back what stupid stuff you did in your 20s. You're going to think you was crazy in your 30s. When you get in your 50s, you're going to look back at that stuff and say, really? What was I thinking about? Through your 40s, your 30s, and your 20s, you're going to really start questioning things about how you move. You have to really start being honest with yourself at that point. Because the accountability starts kicking in after a while. You start saying, whoa, you made them decisions and why? You didn't even have to. Because a lot of times we allow someone else to take control of our soul. Whether it's in relationships, whether it's friendship, boo ship, spiritual ship, whatever ship you in and on. We don't always keep control of what was given to us, what we should feel gratitude for, and that's a soul. And the soul's ultimate search is truth. It don't want nothing else. You can want what you think you want, what you think you want to desire. You can think, hey, that can be what you think and all you want to think. But the soul's ultimate search is truth. That's all it's going to search for. So as much as we try to fight it, but I'm supposed to be in this. I'm supposed to be with this. But I see my life do this. And I think the soul's still like, all right, that all sounds good, but I want the truth. All that fabricate, it sounds good. The truth. Where's the truth? Let's get down to the truth of it all. Let's stop faking ourselves. Let's get down to the truth. Why are we so attached to these things? Why are we so attached to these people? Let's get down to the truth. Because the soul's ultimate search is truth. It don't want nothing else from us. It don't care what we think we thought we wanted and how we wanted it. The soul's like, oh, all right, well, that's the way you thought you was directing things. That ain't the way this ship is going. I want the truth, so I'm going the other direction. And we're battling within ourselves because the soul ain't trying to think about you. Where's the truth? That's all I want is the truth. The lips of the wise are as the doors of a cabinet. No sooner are they open, but treasures are poured out before thee. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, like I said, in 26 of this same chapter, it says the end of her search is truth. Her means to discover it are reason and experience, but are not these weak, uncertain, and fallacious? How then shall she attain unto it? How then shall she attain unto this? The end of her search is truth. Her means to discover it are reason and experience. But are not these weak, uncertain, and fallacious? How then shall she attain unto it? That's why I said the soul could care less. Your reason and experience gonna still make that soul say, I want the truth. So if I gotta send you through these things to get to the truth, then we're gonna be in some pain then. We about to be real uncomfortable for a while. Because the truth, that's all the soul want. So you got to get uncomfortable when the soul is searching for truth, you about to get real uncomfortable. You ain't going to like it. This is why Jesus went into the wilderness. It gets uncomfortable. You need to go to the wilderness for self-examination. The wilderness is your brain. The wilderness is your mind. The wilderness is not a place. So stop thinking you got to walk outside into the forest to go into the wilderness. No, it's within your mind. Go sit with yourself. Go meditate. Go into the wilderness and go and examine thyself. Because your soul is searching for truth. Nothing else that you're trying to give it, do it want. It don't want these Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and none of this other stuff you're trying to give it. It's saying we didn't even rock like that back then. How is we rocking like that right now? We did not rock like this. Our ancestors ain't rock like this. When? Somebody showed me when our ancestors rock like this. I'm talking antiquity. I ain't talking about like recently. Go back. Let's see. Islam. All right. So out of chapter 36, which we're going to go into. All these chapters are so amazing, and my thing is just falling apart. Know thyself. This is why this is the benefits of living authentically. The benefits of living authentically. Like I said, the prophet has a chapter for everything, no matter what you're going through. You're sad, weakness. You're sad, misery. You're going through some things. I mean, you got misery, gratitude, charity. You got everything you could think of. Why do I keep giving myself to people? My charity is you got to go look at these things. It's going to give you a good way, and it's going to give you some lower energy. It's going to show you got to have a balance. That's what I love about this Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Divinely prepared by our noble prophet, Drew Ali, for the guiding and instructions for all of us, etc. All of us, Earth, territory, and country. All of us, whatever you want to call it, etc. 36. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 36. Holy instructions from the prophet, know thyself. I'm telling you, has a chapter for everything. Everything. Know thyself. 10. Is it 10? 10. Yes, it is 10. Come on. Know thyself in the pride of his creation. The line uniting divinity and matter. The line uniting divinity, soul, and matter. Matter could be like water, like matter, body. But you got to understand this. To know thyself in the pride of his creation, the line uniting divinity and matter. Behold, a part of Allah himself within thee. Remember thy own dignity, nor dare descend to evil or to meanness. Period. This is why this is the benefit of living authentically. In knowing thyself and the pride of his creation, the line uniting divinity and matter, the line that unites your soul with self, the line that unites your higher self, that unites you with your higher self. That line. And behold a part of Allah within you. You have to. Don't descend to evil or meanness. So when someone tells you, well, you're celebrating these things and it's all right. How you going to tell me? Because don't result to evil and meanness. Not even when teaching lessons. Don't result to evil and meanness. I heard the baby say, why do we gotta keep doing each other like this? We can't love each other for nothing. We look for hate everywhere we go. We're looking for the hate. And that's all we gravitate to. Know thyself. So in knowing thyself, you got to understand what unites that self. What unites the lower self and the higher self. What brings it into a balance where you know how to even put that soul to work and employ it. That you don't just let it. You keep it in the bounds of righteousness. That's why you need your compass. That's why the compass is important. But keep your own battery charged, man. Sometimes you can't keep being taking the what are they called? You got some jumper cables. You can't keep taking the jumper cables all the time. Sometimes no, man, your jumper cables is gonna get tired. But you got to use them on self. Go within you. Start learning you. Know thyself. Know what unites you. Know what unites you into your higher self. Know what takes you back into the highest essence. That you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own vine and fig tree. Literally straight up. Stop trying to go up under their vine and fig tree for acceptance. Stop trying to follow their status quo because it looks good and it sounds fun and because they do it and because this was what's taught to you. They took the minds of us and our children and they did what they pleased with it. That's why it says mindfulness, practice mindfulness and meditation to stay present and aware. It helps in recognizing and accepting truths about ourselves and our surroundings. This is why truth is so good for our personal well-being and the benefits of living authentically. Straight up it is. Straight up it is. Chapter 26, we're going to go into 9 and 10. Chapter 26. Man, such an important chapter. The benefits of living authentically. Because one thing I believe in is unity. I don't care how you look at it. If you're going to come together and have a birthday party, an event, I don't care what it is. You got to come in unity. Your mindset got to come in unity. Your emotions got to come in unity. Your everything got to come in unity. Because if not, it's going to be a mess. Because everybody want to do it their way. That's the problem. There's one father, one mother. Too many trying to be that father and mother at this point. Talk about one father and one mother that really directs this. That's the all-encompassing father and mother. We're the children, and we ain't acting in such a way. We're not acting in the way. The benefits of living authentically is unity. It's straight up unity. It's straight up unity. And I'm going to start the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 26. Holy instructions of unity. The gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah, and he appointed to everyone his portion, in what measure seemeth good unto himself. So sometimes I guess the measure of you not wanting to unite, or maybe wanting to unite a little bit, that's just the measure that maybe that's what y'all want to do. But man, do you realize these gifts of understanding? The gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah. And he appointed to each one of us a gift to understand, a gift to use. So many people can do the same thing all over the place. You can have many ministers, many pastors, many chiefs, many artists, many hairstylists, many barbers, many artists. You can have all of this, but everyone has their own way of reaching and teaching. Everyone has their own way of doing. You can put 1 million hairstylists in the same room, give them one hairstyle. Not one person's going to do that hairstyle the same. I could care. I don't care. Because whoever did that is going to do that. Anyone else, their eye is going to change for what they see. They're going to put their own twist on it. This is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali divinely prepared this. We ain't putting no twist on nothing. Because he took the covers off of everything. So only truth going to be exposed. No twist. The truth. But I'm trying to tell you, in our minds, when we see things from these eyes, we're gonna construct something different, because that's where our gifts come from. And the gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah. So also in this chapter of the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, Holy Instructions of Unity in 9 and 10, but the wise man cultivates his mind with knowledge. The improvement of the arts is his delight, and their utility to the public crowneth with honor. Nevertheless, the attainment of virtue he accounted as the highest learning, and the science of happiness is the study of his life. The science of happiness. We're more scientists. The science of happiness is the study of my life. I'm a more scientist. I sure am. All day long. And so are you. If you just knew who you were and you knew how to step back into this amazing avatar that you keep dissing and don't want to be a part of. Because you love your lower self. You love the hatred that it breeds, the slander, the lewdness, the all of those. But that's not Allah. That's not higher self at all. That's all lower energy. That's all it is. That's all it is. So we got to come together in unity. No matter what, we got to come together in unity. Because the wise man feels his imperfection and is humbled. The wise man even feels his imperfection. He laboreth in vain for his own approbation, but the fool, he peepeth in the shallow stream of his own mind. The fool is always peeping in the shallow stream of his own mind. And is pleased with the pebbles which he sees at the bottom. And he brings them up to show them as pearls. With the applause of his brethren, he delights himself. With the applause of your brethren, you just delight yourself. You just delight, oh God, she's giving me praise. Please, they're pebbles, y'all. They're pebbles at the bottom. Ain't nothing to show off. Not as no celebrity, as none of that. You watching all that not even make a difference anymore. Celebrity would. Why? They got more money to act a fool, to not follow what they should, some customs and cultures of their forefathers and foremothers, not claim to be who they are, not stand in their truth and stand and be accountable for the mess that they do. The soul's only search is truth, even through them. I don't care. Money can't even buy you a soul. Money can't buy you no soul, and money can't fix your spirit. If you got an ugly spirit, you just got an ugly spirit. Money ain't gonna fix that. That needs to be in you already. That needs to be a part of who you are. You need to understand the line that unites that. To bring that love energy into who you are. Because all that right there is all hate. All of it. You still gonna wake up and mistreat people. No matter whether today was a new year day or not, a new day or not, you still gonna wake up being that saint, probably still being mean, still resulting to that. Not showing honor to those that help you, not showing honor to those or having gratitude for anyone that has come in your life to make a difference. Because you're so self-centered and you think you know yourself perfectly. And it tells you can't know it perfectly because it's inscrutable. It's inscrutable. Don't try to know it perfectly. But let me tell you something, moving into the new year that we will be moving into when the spring does get here, one thing y'all better have together is we ain't got time for none of that no more. We are totally out of that age. You are in an age you've never been a part of before. Who's ever been a part of the Aquarian age? Nobody. So everybody's uncomfortable right now because we've moved into a whole new age. And it ain't no more about no belief system. It's all about what you know, your faith, your faith walk. Your faith has been being tested through you walking in just belief. And belief is perhaps what you think perhaps is the truth. You don't know that it's the truth. You just think it's the truth. But we're now walking in a faith walk. So this is the surety so that we can be the fruition. Because you got to have the surety that Allah and man are one. That has to be without a shadow of a doubt. It got to be without a doubt or contradiction that is what it is. This is the faith. It can't be, oh, well, I think so. No, you still believe in. And we out of that. And if you still in that belief state, you're stuck in a rim that we can't even help you out of. So ain't no convincing, ain't no trying, nobody trying to get you to come over here and be this or be that. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. At the end of the day, truth ain't going to change or pass away. So you still going to hear it. You still going to get these lessons, no matter who come out here to give them to you. One day, maybe it'll click, and maybe one day you'll release yourself from that realm. You'll release your own self from that realm, because that's the only way it's going to happen, when you do the work to release yourself. Nobody can release you from it. Nobody can give you anything to release you from that. You have to release yourself. You have to let your soul go search for the truth and be acceptance of when it comes back and brings you the truth. Not because it hurts your feelings. Now, you got to get out your emotions when you messing with this soul. Because it's going to be facts over feelings all day long for you. It ain't going to be about your feelings. This is why truth is good for our personal well-being. This is why it's good for our personal well-being. Because, see, those that don't, he can boast of attainments and things that are of no worth. But where it is a shame to be ignorant, there he has no understanding. That's why I say these celebrities and all this, that y'all so hungover, so caught up in getting to know and why they doing this, and no, they can't be that way, and no, she can't be that way, and how can they do that, and how can they not? They use the pen to do everything to us, and they tongue. The sword, the pen is mightier than the sword, Garvey told you, I say it all the time. The pen is mightier than the sword. The tongue is mightier than them both. So you keep giving them the pen so they can tell your story. So it can come out their mouth all wrong and twisted. Instead of you searching. You, that soul within you is going to search for this truth. It wants the truth. It don't want what you want. I promise you it don't. That's why you can't be putting on Jesus that he died for anything you did. No. Why? Who would want your mess? That's why you do what you do, because you don't want your mess. That's why you do what you do, because you don't want your mess. So stop putting it on somebody else, because you don't want to be held accountable for your mess. Stop it. This is why we're going to talk about some polyandry and polygamy. I ain't for it, but hey, sisters, brothers, stop letting society tell us that we have a shortage of men. That's a lie. It's a lie if I ain't never seen one. That's why I say the soul search is for truth. The soul search is for truth. And the first group of folks is gonna take it. Black, nigga, on color gonna be like, yeah, we ain't got enough women. It ain't, it ain't enough men. That's why we need all these wives. That's a lie if I ain't never heard it. There's enough men for us to have a couple of husbands too. What we doing then? Let's talk about it. And I seen somebody come on my post talking about that ain't right. Well, what you thinking ain't right neither. What you thinking ain't right either. So let's play this game both ways, because two can play the game. Remember, two can play the game. How to be a player. Ooh, boy, how to be one. Two can play this game. And this is what was said as a comment when I put it up. But I'm going to tell you one thing, though. This is what was said as a comment when I put it up. Let me go. Because we were talking about it, and I went to chat. I said, come on. Go on and make me this post. For the polyandry. So we can put it next to this polygamy one, where my sister got her head down like she's in distress, like she's just horrible. And they stepping her up on the step while he behind her grinning. And she's looking like she's just so like, oh, this is, my gosh. And behind her are these bricks that say, side chick, financial struggle, abuse, jealousy, living, what does it say? Lying and cheating, overworked single mother, with these bricks behind her stiletto heel wrapped up her leg, with a bag, carrying a bag like bag lady, going up the thing while the other sister holds a rose toward the bottom and extends her hand out while he grinning. Polygamy 2025. I said, oh, really? Well, what if we turn the tables, brothers, sisters? It's a thing. And it's been a thing for a long, long time. Right? This is what I get. And they don't. Brother says, doesn't make much sense. There's way more single sisters. LOL. Excuse me. I'm not being funny. My days of dating apps. That's a lie. Whether they, obviously, that to me, that's a whole lie. I don't see it that way. I don't. That's the case. I mean, we have a whole bunch of us have the same baby daddy. And I know people do, but at the end of the day, hold up, bruh. So I'm gonna read some of this. My sis says, they don't want to talk about this. They're gonna say this stuff. This is HO stuff. Yeah, they will quickly. Y'all just trying to be some HOs. You are too. Why is it any different? Because you got community thang slanging. Why is it different? We can say the same thing. They say it's not about the intimacy of the going in and out. Every relationship is different. They all have different gifts and purposes. Exactly. So even if it did switch, if the tables was to turn on y'all, it is funny though, because it's crazy. But if the tables was to turn on y'all, what would y'all do? What do you mean? What would y'all do? If the tables was to turn, is the tables were to turn on you? He said, "Oh, Sister Shaw, Islam brother, let's discuss the facts." Yes, let's discuss the facts. Sister Shaw, if you want to come on, brother Sean Morbay, if you are anywhere around and you want to come onto this platform and let's talk about this because this needs to be talked about. Let's discuss the facts. The concept itself is outdated and not for us in today's world, men or women. But since social media and our brothers keep attempting to translate worldly whoredom, come on now, worldly whoredom into poly rather than master themselves and the sexual desires that screw men up every time, we must do what's beneficial. Listen to what the sisters say. Most of our single or married men are unqualified to interpret the emotional needs of others. Also, they struggle to lead, protect, and provide for one family. Real talk, you can one family. So he shouldn't dare have multiple families to jeopardize. Number two, polygamy is and was typically practiced by men during times of economic prosperity. Only men of exalted social status commonly practiced poly. It was never a common practice. Women, polyandry actually makes more sense during economic hardship and scarcity. I'll post a nice article about it here. Islam. Oh, all right. Islam. Straight up. Because if you doing it, if the brothers are doing this for an economic reason, you being lazy. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like an excuse to be lazy, as Adam was lazy in the garden, if we want to take that to a realistic story. As Adam was lazy in the garden, the slothfulness that you even would attempt to even bestow upon us, some sisters, to sit around to take care of you. Especially as the Asiatic woman is rising so much in her essence and power and everything that she stands in. Why would we want to take care of a brother? We need some brothers to come take care of us. That's the real deal. Because you're right. You can't even hold down one family household. If you could, then it wouldn't be so many children out here without their fathers. And you wouldn't have been community penis to everyone and everything. And talking about what we didn't choose, nah, brother, you should have chose to show up differently and better. Islam. Okay, so this is a small little article, and I'm telling you, truth hurts. Truth and why it's so important for our personal well-being. The impact of living in alignment with our values, how truth can empower us to make informed decisions, and the benefits of living authentically. We still falling into line with this. Because these healthy relationships, surround yourself with people who encourage and support your true self. Authentic connections are key to well-being. Y'all be thinking that's an authentic connection because you looked at something and it looked good to you, and so you think you trying to drag someone else into your mess of your carnal desires of your mind? Really? Nah, we better than that, bruh. And ain't none of us desperate out here no more. None of us. I probably had a desperate time in my life, but baby, please, knowing your worth, none of it's worth it. I ain't seen a one. Polyandry is believed to be more likely in societies with scarce environmental resources. It's believed to limit human population growth and enhance child survival. It is a rare form of marriage that exists not only among peasant families but also among elite families. For example, polyandry in the Himalayan mountains is related to the scarcity of land. The marriage of all brothers in a family to the same wife allows family land to remain intact. Put you to work. See what I mean? Because y'all don't be wanting to work. For real, for real. It sounds like a lazy ploy to sit around. The marriage of all brothers in a family to the same wife allows family land to remain intact and undivided. If every brother married separately and had children, family land would be split into unsustainable small plots. In contrast, very poor persons not owning land were less likely to practice polyandry in Buddhists. Yes, authentic connection. And that's another reason they want poly. They don't want the authenticity that faces them to face themselves. Exactly. You don't. You don't. Because you ain't even worked on yourself well enough to want none of that. You know yourself and know Allah. And Allah ain't nowhere where I don't still ain't seen no wives with no ES. I still ain't seen it. He who finds a wife, if this is what we practice over here in this part of Islamism, which we don't, then why does he have marriage instructions for husband and wife? He don't say marriage instructions for husbands and wives or husband and wives with an S at the end. It says wife, one, singular. Y'all need to learn that part first. First, you need to learn how to marry yourself. Because then once you're comfortable with yourself and can be authentic with yourself and stand in your truth with yourself, you only need one, baby. You don't need all that. You can hold it down and you can come together and hold it down together. The woman's mind is way stronger. We 10 years ahead of you in development from the time we get here. So what do you think that stops? It doesn't. It doesn't. It continues. So you think we still ain't there? We is, brothers. We is. We still 10 years ahead of y'all. Don't matter you older than me or none of that. Your thought, your mind, your thought process, the way you think, how low you think of your sisters, how low you can think of your mothers, how low you can think of your aunties. That's why you think so low of us, to think that that's what we want. Just because you walk around with this thing on this fez on your head, you speak these smart words and do all of these things, or you wrap yourself up in a hijab or a turban or whatever you do to think you deserve all this. Wear a bow tie and stand on the corner. It don't matter. It's not speaking radical. This is the truth. That does not give you no right to do none of that. And it is sickening to me to sit here and watch you men constantly say that. Even when I look at Dr. Umar, and I'm going to say it again, even when he said, I'm going to have me 2 wives because you are about to be 90. Go sit down. I want you to open the school and let's see how you can handle these children, because that's what we need. We need stand-up men in these communities for these babies and these boys. Forget about talking about your loose desires and what you're looking for in the bedroom. What about our children? What about these children out here? Why you so caught up in your loose desires? Because I'm going to be in polygamy. We going to have more than one wife. You can't even take care of your doggone self. You can't keep your hair comb, your hair cut, a hairline, none of that. Can't even groom yourself properly. So how are you going to do all that because you want somebody to come in and take care of you? Nah, it needs a switch. This is the other way around. This is why the prophet wanted to leave this movement to the sisters. I'm so sorry. Because of stuff like this, the ignorance that goes on with something so valuable, something so loving, something that can make us such a great people. And y'all have taken it and y'all have misused it. Y'all have misused and abused this thing to your benefit, for your greedy benefit. None of y'all looking out for no people. Y'all just trying to figure out how many followers you can get, how many likes you can get, how many views your video can get. That's all y'all looking for. Validation. And it's sad. Your validation ain't in your pants, brothers. Your validation is not in your pants. No different than our validation ain't in ours. Everybody need to get their life together. It's a wrap. It's over with for all the nonsense that y'all keep doing. Period. People in general. But you brothers, for real, y'all need to just walk away from this movement and let us handle this thing, because y'all ain't. Y'all playing still. To this day, y'all playing with this. To this day. In my red pill voice. To this day, y'all playing. Ain't being upright, ain't being none of that. Ain't being upright, ain't being fearless, none of that. I see more fearless sisters online doing that thing than I do brothers. Brothers are still trying to figure out how many wives they trying to get in the bed with them. Sad situation that we think this way. That you can't think enough of a sister, of an Asiatic woman, to raise her up to her highest. That you so want to raise her skirt up and not her. I want to try to figure out how you can come in and annihilate her life because you think you the smartest person on the planet. And ain't got sense. God gave a doorknob. Because the turtle got a lot of sense. A doorknob. Period. The disrespect of my sisters, it's a wrap. It's over with. It's no more. Yes, we super sacred. Do you understand? This is why this Lilith energy has to rise up. Because we sacred and we got to stand on that. Nipsey, all proud. Right on, Nipsey. What did he tell Lauren? She stood up and said, I still remember she said that man's transition in service. He always told me, never fold. Stay 10 toes down. Sisters, never fold. Stay 10 toes down. They ain't worth all this. They ain't. All they can offer us is what's between their legs. Anything other than that, they can't offer you nothing. They can barely have a decent conversation. They don't even know what courting is anymore. They don't even know what that is. They just come to you. Hey, here's my thing. You want to give me? No, I don't. I have 4 sons. I've seen many of those in my life. I'm good. I don't need no more of that. You can't give me nothing else, brother? Is it anything else you can give me? Can you take me to a higher essence? Man, take me somewhere I've never been. Show me some things I've never seen. Boy, bye, Islam. Show me some things I've never seen. Explore with me. Teach me something. I want to learn. But y'all ain't willing to teach nothing. You just think that that's all the only value you hold is there. Like I tell my sons, respect your temple. Because she might not respect your temple because she might not respect her own temple. It depends on what she's seen. What is her experience? What is her reason for doing what she do? But respect yours, so then in return you can respect hers. Period. A bunch of women? Really, brothers? That's all I'm seeing. Polygamy 2020. Why? You ain't old enough. You didn't get your rocks off enough. You didn't have enough little wet dreams. What's the problem? That you can't show up in your authenticity for no sister and be straight up, upright, fearless man, standing in the affairs of man, making things happen. Because see, if you had some business for real, brothers, you wouldn't even be caught up in that. If you had some real business going on with yourself, that'd be the last thing on your mind. You can have one and build with that one because you so on your stuff and she so on her stuff that we building together. Ain't nobody got time for none of that. And you want to bring some confusion up in here to throw things off? Even a scale only got two. You ain't got nothing in the middle, holding nothing in between it. I promise you, as if we haven't been through enough separation. And we still continue to do it. And that's separating us even more, sister. That's separating us even more. It's bouting us against each other. Because then we start competing for who gonna be his woman and who gonna be the first wife. And are you gonna be the wife that he be? Really? Who wants those kind of headaches? Why? I'm not trying to compete for your attention. Nobody is. Compete for your attention, really? You can pay for attention. You can get on this social media platform and pay for attention. Ain't that why they have these platforms? What are they called? You have a OnlyFans pay. You want attention? Go pay to get some. Go pay to get some. But no more y'all gonna sit here and keep with this trajectory that there's not enough men in the world. That's a lie. It is. It's just half the time whether you sisters accept them or not. And it's good men out here. They might not look the way you want them to look, but it's good men that would be willing to do a such thing. So even for my sisters, as we raise the bar, please understand, he might not look like Denzel. He might not, but he might. You never know. But what we must do is not fold. Never fold. Stay 10 toes down on what you know you deserve, what you know your worth is. Don't let nobody come and tell you what your worth is. Sisters, stop letting these brothers run you out these temples. No, this was for us to uplift humanity. It's not a brother uplifting a brother on the front of the cover of the 101s. It's Prophet Noble Drew Ali lifting the sister up. And he got one foot on a solid rock of salvation, and one is still in the doggone cares of the world. You don't see nobody else behind him with all that water. I don't see not another brother. I don't see not another brother. I don't see not another brother behind him lifting up no more sisters. It should be a bunch of them coming out the water if we're imitating either prophet. But we can see that the prophet's only been standing on his own. When nobody had his back. Stop playing with me. Y'all gonna all stop playing with me. No, they didn't. When he found each and every one of them, they was fools and coolies, Negro, black, and colored. He was the only one divinely prepared to run this movement. Period. I give no one else honors for this. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'll imitate him, the prophet. Not you men that think y'all the prophet. But Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was divinely prepared to bring us this, was born on an Indian reservation in 1886 in North Carolina. Islam, sis, in North Carolina. And we about to show y'all how this thing gonna be done. I promise you. Because there's women all over the world ready for this. And they waiting for us right here. That's all they waiting for. That's all they waiting for. They've been waiting on us. And we've been sitting back chilling, talking about Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and all this other crazy stuff we decide to get involved in. So, hey, if that's how you taking what this day brings to you or that what it is to you, that is not. Try me around spring equinox and let's talk about something new. What did you work on to get to that point? What seeds are you planting at this point? Because everything is dead right now. So I'm confused still. What seeds are you going to plant for this? Because this truth is great for our personal well-being. Stand on it. Stop just talking about it. Be what you know. That's what you in right now. The being what you know. Walk in it. My sisters, it's already on and popping. The children are ready for us. It's cold and dead. Islam, that's what I'm saying. How are you bringing anything new into something that's a corpse outside right now? How, y'all? Explain to me, Sway. How? Get it together. For real, get it together. Because your ancestors and Big Mama and all them is looking at you like you some fools right now and coolies. Just like the prophet found these brothers. It's on the back of that doggone authority. Call it what you want. Nobody stood for the prophet. Because if that was the case, you should be more men behind him raising sisters up out the cares of the world and not raising up their skirts. And when you're raising her up, she'll stay in the temple whether you're with her or not. So sisters, stop leaving the temples because of these brothers. We need to stand on what we need to stand on. And if they ain't fit for this movement, they need to move around. Period. Period. What did you say? Only Yaku bloodline can only explain that. You know? Move around if you're not. For real. Move around. Because it's people that are doing real work and really, really ready to really put it in. But y'all in the way. Due to your ego and your draw measurements that none of us care about. That's all that's being driven in this movement is egoism. Everybody in their ego. And they all brothers in their ego. And because they can say some smart words, they can say big words. They can say big words. Oh, yes, Islam. They can say big words. And because they can say big words, we think they're smart. Because they read a few books. No, they don't even put these things into practice in their lives. And you can see it. But Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the one I say imitate I the prophet, he didn't say imitate I the prophet and my homeboys. He never said that. He said imitate I the prophet. Specific instruction. This is why you got to get out this Negro black and colored folk mentality. Because even those that are in this movement still have the Negro black colored folk mentality, whether they got a fez and turban on or not. Whether they have a sheik on the front of their name or not. Still, it's happening. It's happening. The ignorance, the separation, the division, that's not what the prophet brought. It's not what the prophet brought. Islam, my brother. It's not what the prophet brought. You got all this information, no action. Filled all this information, no action, though. But you can come tell me who ain't saying what right and who ain't doing this right and who ain't this and that. But even when I gaze across your life, you ain't doing that. And you got real people out here working on themselves to get to that point. And you playing. So move around, brothers, if you ain't serious. Go on and just turn in your button, cease wearing your turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. Because you playing and you're not serious. You're not serious. So if you're not going to imitate either prophet, move around. I'm not going to say it again. And before I close, I'm about to play this baby's video again. Because y'all going to get this. Because the youth need us. You brothers need to stand up. It's ridiculous. We got our babies out here disrespecting grandma and big sis and ain't none of y'all around to correct nothing. But want to talk about what we ain't doing right, but want a polygamy relationship. Y'all go somewhere and sit down and get out here and help raise this youth up. Get out here and raise the youth up. It's y'all's fault. Y'all started this gang stuff. Y'all need to fix it because it's your fault. You took this movement and you turned it into something that it shouldn't have been. It's your fault. Y'all need to fix it. Brothers, our children are suffering. Our women are suffering. And y'all just sitting back wanting extra women and doing crazy stuff. Excuse me? We got real problems out here besides your little Peter Weeder. We got real problems out here, real duties, real social duties. Got time to be playing with y'all all the time? Because y'all think that, let me tell y'all something. The devil owns the devil runs the playground, but Allah owns the building. Please understand that. And it's too many of y'all on this playground. It's too many of y'all on this playground. Too many of y'all on this playground. Come on, baby. Let's give it to them one more time before we get out of here.
Everybody just love. The kind that was exemplified and sent from up above. Don't know about everybody else, but I know about me. Just want to live my life and see that God is proud of me. Look, honestly, I just want to be a good person. Tell me why there's people that love to see people hurting. Tell me why there's people that love to see people bleed. Why can't we just learn from the horrific things we've seen? Be glad that it ain't you all that we easily can be. If I say something wrong, then here is my apology. Just want to spread a message that everybody should hear. It shouldn't be a goal to leave anybody in tears. We should build each other up instead of tear each other down. Instead of getting shady when some people come around. I looked inside my life and I really like what I found. My life is really good because the people that I surround myself with laugh, joke, play around, love each other just as it should be. Regardless of my race, all of my friends accepted me for me. This is how the world should be. Why can't it just be like this? Guess we'll just observe the improvements until our stories end. Yeah.
My babies. My babies. That's who I fight for. That's who I fight for. The grown folk, y'all. That's who I fight for. That's who I fight for. That right there. For real. That's something to stand for. That's something to stand 10 toes down for. That's something to never fall for. Is these babies. You brothers need to get it together. For real. I hope y'all have a great, whatever you celebrating today. Happy New Day. Happy New Day to you. A new day. What have you changed? What have you done different? And how are you uplifting anyone? Because it shouldn't be all about your resolution. Why don't you have a resolution? Have a solution to the problem of the people. Because it's widely economic and social, especially us. And the Negro problem ain't going to be solved until we solve it. It can only be solved by us, y'all. Ain't nobody about to solve this. Stop thinking because you go. How about y'all always trying to vote on something? Vote for the stupid stuff to go away. For them to stop mistreating our children and putting things in them and misinforming them when you send them to these schools and making them even better slaves when you send them to the higher education schools. Take back our children. Give back to Caesar what belongs to him. Give back to who sees you. So give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Because that's who sees you. And you allow them to see you all the time. See the fullness of who you are. Yes, you are so welcome. And just to end it like this, because something was brought to me by an elder. Like I said, I love my elders and I love my teachers that are sent to me. And in our divine constitution and bylaws, Act 6 is so important, especially for us as members. Because with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, color folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, which they started with the pen in 1774. 1779 to 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants. Each one of you, stop thinking I'm just talking to a group of people. You too. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern, right here, northwest Africa, and southwestern shores of Africa. Islam. Before I say what I want to say about this, our dear sister, Marina Aya Sanaya Bay, 50-50 and polygamy. When we are still suffering from the generational psychosis of slavery, we can't even handle basic conflict. I'm so disappointed in my generation that should know better, but now acting like they are the prize. The devil is a liar. Islam, sis, Islam. And this is why Act 6 is so important. Remember, I told you these are actions. This is how you should act. So I was just giving a demonstration on Act 6. And it made me such a proud mother. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. As much as I've been through my experience and reason with my children, homeschooling them when homeschool wasn't a thing, all of these things that I've done, but even sending them into their schools, not giving them full control over their minds, because when they come home, we still got control, right? But anytime I would go to a student conference, a teacher's conference, whether it's here in Georgia, whether it's when I took them to the pale skinned Europeans in Colorado, you know what they say about my children? Any teacher I go to, I've never met a child like this before. Even my child that would get in trouble, he still was a very gifted child. But because y'all ain't giving him things that interest his mind, he's going to be all over the place. This is what I learned about boys. They should be learning from the things that they're interested in from the time they're little. They should not be put in a place where they got to be held and bound down, because some of them, that's just not going to be the environment for them. And I had one that just wasn't. Very intelligent, very smart, thought ahead, but got in trouble so much due to the fact because there was really no structure for him. If he would have been doing things he liked, like when he was in homeschool, that was so much better. Because he could be on the computer. He's on the computer. They're teaching this, gaming. They're teaching these things to keep him. I like this. Games. Cars, bikes, all of this stuff. So he was all right, right? My children, as much as I'm like, I just hope I'm doing good. So when me and their dad split, it was just me and them. And it's like, whoa, I got these 4 boys and me. How we gonna rock this thing? I'm just trusting, but I still got to stay on you. I still got to be hardcore. I might not can yoke you up like dad, but I can to the throat and we good, right? But taking them and just remembering my youngest son and the teacher saying, you know what, he's such a leader in his class, and the children could be acting a fool. They could be going, all this, and he just sits there. And he pays attention. So my son's always been this way, even though some people say he's mean. No, he's just always been the type that stays focused, and he's just paying attention to everything around him. It's not mean, it's just him. It's just who he is. He's just very protective of who he is. He's protective of his space. And I think even based off of his experiences lately, he's even more protective of this space, right? So even I have a son that's very, very super intelligent, speaks like as if you would never guess that he's a brother. You know what I'm saying? But my son, raised in Georgia, grew up here. All his other brothers, you hear the ATL in them. You hear it. You hear it. This one, you can catch it maybe, but you're really not gonna catch it. So when I would go, they say, I've never met no children like this before. They're so focused. Oh my goodness. You have the best children in the world. I've never. So this coming from pale skinned European people. Really, I'm like, dang. And in Colorado, they would do the same thing. And I'm like, well, all right on. Now, mind you, they got bays on their names too. So they proclaim their nationality. When the teacher told me yesterday, she told me yesterday, well, sister, you actually, that's what it's meant by proclaiming your nationality and it being known to all the nations of the earth. What does it say? Proclaiming your nationality, recognized by the government in which you live in the nations of the earth. So they noticed that. They recognized it just based off of, they actually know who they are. And their mom is making sure they know who they are. So no matter where they go, they're going to know who they are. And no matter how they may fall off of the path of which I laid for them, they're going to go back and say, you know what? My mom said this. I remember my mom did that. I remember she said this. And that's coming back to fruition. Because even though if you teach a child in the way he shall go, he shall never leave from it. That being said, even once they make their own decisions, because baby, you won't be able to protect them forever. Once they make their own decisions, when they bump their head a few times, that prodigal son gonna turn back around and say, wait a minute. I remember when my mama said this. I remember when my daddy said this. I remember when they taught me this. Even if the example wasn't set in front of them at the time, they're going to remember those lessons. They're going to remember those principles that you placed in them. And it's going to go with them. And that's how they'll be recognized. That's how they'll be recognized. Even when my son went to prison, oh no, we don't do vaccinations against he knew what to say. He knew what to stand up for himself, even being in there. Knowing thyself is important. So no matter where you go to have to solve your son's life, you're going to know who you are. And in order to know thyself, in order to know God, as I said, you have to know you. So no matter where you tread, where you place your feet, please know this. You will not turn from what really is within you, what that soul is really searching for, and it's just the truth. So you'll turn back to that truth of what the universal mother and father has given us. That God so loved the world that he gave his children. One spirit can be all places. You too, boo, you too, my love. To you too, I love you too. I love you too. All places. This spirit can feel all places, all people. Can cross the borderland at will. So when Allah so loved the world, Allah, the mother and the father, so loved the world that they gave us to this world, to be on this earth plane, to navigate. But we need to come and show love. This is the hardest test from what I'm hearing. So this is why we got to learn how to love instead of hate on this earth plane. We have to. And if you're not in the business of loving instead of hate, move around and stay away from those that are. Because we working around here. We working around here. We got grandchildren out here. We got children out here still. Should be no reason that we out here doing the things we doing, running mucks the way we are amongst ourselves and amongst each other. I love each and every one of y'all. And when I say I love you, I mean that. Because I told you, I already know what my soul's purpose was, to come and teach love. I've not only gotten that through readings, but even going through my gene keys and all these other things. Oh, I love you so much. You was just saying that yesterday. Yes, you have to come for this. You have to come for this. Going through my gene keys, going through all that. Like, wow, that's what I signed up for this. I signed up to come and teach love. And be loved. No matter how bad somebody mistreats me, no matter what they say to me, this is what I signed up for. So when you talk about what you signed up for to sacrifice, this is what you signed up for, things to sacrifice within self. You're going to sacrifice a part of you to be here. You're going to sacrifice yourself for your children and all that. So you have a soul's purpose. You do. Islam, thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts, TikTok. So like my sis said, 10 toes down. Pay yourself on the I can't see what that emoji is. Oh, I apologize. I'm not good with emojis. I'm so bad with them, but I'm so grateful, like for real. So the time is now, and it just takes us, just us. Justice is just us. It just takes us. Justice ain't what you keep thinking it is. Just us. We can change this. Just us. I'm challenging y'all. 7-day challenge. And if you slip, start over. You challenge everything else. You can get on TikTok and shake your rump with your children and do all these challenges. I'm challenging you to this. To not think negative. To not speak negative. for 7 days. See how that changes your thoughts. Because truth is good for your personal well being. So being truthful is being loving, moving in love. So direct your thoughts. Use the compass to keep it in the bounds of righteousness. Use your compass. And when you're out in the world, if you act in Act 6, they'll notice and recognize. You'll be recognized by the nations of the earth and the government in which you live. You'll be recognized just by the way you show up. That's how you'll be proclaiming your nationality and your divine creed. Islam. So y'all have a great rest of this Wednesday, this hump day. Enjoy. Peace and love.